The relationship between Ian and Poppy is really put to the test this season as co-creative directors. We explore how friction creates diamonds and how you should be your true self through and through, uh, crab toast in its after effects and all. Um, and the big examination of this series that I love so much is the creative process, getting insight into that and the sacrifices involved in creating art. I'm really curious, how much do your characters and their individual struggles challenge your own thinking and inform things about your own creative process and what you may be given up to thrive in your art?
Great question,
Yeah.
Charlotte.
um, I think that one of the things that's really fun to play with Poppy is she has a lot of insecurities, and there are a lot of areas of her life where she's a total mess. But when it comes to programming, like when it comes to her job, she's got 100% complete confidence that she can do it. Like there's no question there for her, and there's an arrogance to it. Which sometimes makes her not great to be around. But I admire that because personally, as I think most artists do, I have a lot of insecurity around my own work. And so I think that getting to play this character that just is completely unshakable in her belief in her ability is like, it's almost like good practice for like figuring out how to do that myself.
I learned something vital very early on in Sunny. I think it was season 2, because it was when Danny DeVito first joined, and it was like day 1. And he said to me, "How should I say this line?" And I said, "Whatever way you want." And he's like, "Well, what way do you want me to say it?" And I was like, "You're Danny DeVito. You can say it whatever way you want." And he said, "Just tell me how to say it because you know what's funny, and I'm not 100% sure I do." And I was like, wow. And then I told him how to say it. It was really funny. We talked about it later. And he said, I just try to surround myself with young people and different people and people with different points of view who can help me find my way. Because one of the problems with comedy, but look, it's one of the problems in a lot of different areas of life, where you kind of think you've got it figured out. You've had some modicum of success, and then you stay rigid within that success, and then you eventually become stale. You never grow, you never learn anything. So for me, what's really been important is to surround myself with super talented young people who have different points of view and maybe come at things in a completely different way than I have. And of course, that's just inherently challenging because I have a point of view and I'm like, oh, this is the right way to do it. And that's the way we're going to do it. And then Charlotte says, you know what, maybe if we try it like this, it might be better. And I'm like, that's the way to do it. That's the only way to do it. It's the right way to do it. Let's do it like that. And you just have to be open to that all the way through.
And also,
Mhm.
it's a very cool environment to get to work in. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I bet. I remember reading that Bo Burnham called comedy like it ages like milk. So I can understand like wanting to have your finger on the pulse of like what's maybe funny today and trying to figure out what's timeless and that sort of thing.
Yep.
But as we wrap up, something I've greatly admired about this series is how it presents narrative reveals. The series is genuinely funny, but it also deals with some very real stuff. There's an episode, well, two actually, in this season that involves CW, and they're just tremendous. Rob, I wonder if there's a technique or a process that you've discovered in the art of the story and character reveals when starting out with this show. How did you decide what's better to wait and see what it takes versus information that is laid out in the front?
I don't think we have any set plans. I think we just try things and then we iterate and try things and iterate. And one thing that I'm always consistently learning and then trying to pass on to anybody that is interested in my opinion about this kind of stuff is to just get it wrong as fast as you can. Just get it wrong, make the adjustment, move on. Go straight forward and fulfill your vision until you realize that your vision is not working. Make a left turn and go in that direction as hard as you can. And what I find is that it allows for a lot more voices to come in, a lot more different points of view. And then when you do that, you can sort of start to coalesce into what your process then will wind up becoming. And it changes every single time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I could sit here all day. I love the show, and Rob, I can't wait to see what you have to say about what the mustache is going to serve in your family.
We're working through, Preston, we're working through it as a family. We have a counselor coming over today to talk to the kids. My wife loved the mustache. When I shaved it, my children, I don't know if you ever had an experience where your father shaves his facial hair. They are devastated, but they hated the mustache, but they hate my face even more. So we're reconciling that.
The high pressure and the friction, that's what turns coal into diamonds.
Yo, what's up, Snoop?
All right, man, when you releasing that new expansion?
When you release that new album?
You look very cute in that mocap suit.
This mocap suit? You like this one? Yeah.
Oh, how I wish I could be with you to press flesh against flesh.
Okay, no. It's better that he's remote. I'ma hang up.
Gotta go big. That shirt is so tight that I can authentically see your nipples.
Why are you looking at my nipples?
It's hard not to. You're kind of asking for it.
That's victim blaming. You can't blame me.
You are a victim of nothing.